Sandy Parker, and welcome to Crafting for Almost Everyone. If you read my blog, and my blog is www.craftingforalmosteveryone.com, kind of easy to remember, you've read that one of my friends that I've been sending the Thinking of You cards to passed away this week from cancer. She was 49 and a lovely, lovely woman, and I worked with her for many, many years, and I'm going to miss her greatly, and I want to make sure I send all of her family, it's important to me that I send cards to everyone in her family. I want to make sure that they know that even though that she's not still with us, that I will continue to send them cards to keep them in my thoughts and prayers. So, I'm so sorry. The first card I'm going to do is for her son. No, I'm sorry. The first card I'm going to do is for her sister. Her sister and I worked together first. I always say that I worked together with these people, but technically I was their boss, and I never like to tell people that because I always felt that we were always in it together and not that I was someone's boss. But it might put it in more perspective if I tell you that her sister and I worked together for a few years. She was a teller for me, and then she decided to pursue a career in nursing, and she said, you know, my sister would love a job, and I said, send her in, I'll hire her. If she's anything like you, she's perfect. And so I met her sister and loved her instantly and hired her, and she worked with me until I stopped working. And then she pursued a career in nursing as well. So they're a lovely family. She has 2 sons and a new granddaughter, and her one son, Corey, and Rich and I are very close. And when we went to the funeral home, Corey said that my cards meant the world to them, and so I want to continue to do that. With that in mind, I love cherry blossoms. I think they're beautiful, and I thought we would make a card with them. Okay, I think I have a grip. You never know when that's going to hit you, you know? I don't know about the rest of you, but grief hits you at weird times. Anyway, I love cherry blossoms, and I hope that her sister will too. And I thought what I would do is I'm doing a card that's a 5.5 inch tall by 4.25 inch wide, so it's 8.5 inches wide, and then you score it at 4.25 inches. And I thought I would layer it. I think this is called Blushing Bride by Stampin' Up, the paper, and then this paper has that same pink in it, and I like that as well, but I think my white is too stark, so I thought what I would do is I would take this Tattered Rose, which I think is pretty close, Distress Ink, and just brush over the white with it so that I can kind of get rid of some of that background noise. I just want to get a piece of paper to put under it so that you can see the color difference when I change it up. I'm using this brush. I don't know if you've ever seen the Frugal Crafter, Lindsay used these. They're by Judikins. They're nice because they leave kind of a softer background than the foam brushes do. And it's better when you start off the page and work onto the page with this so that you get the bulk of that dark pink off the page and not into your background. And I'm going to try and do as much of my background as I can in this. It's kind of hard to do with these brushes, to do a large space at a time. You get more of a smaller space with these, whereas with those spongy things you can kind of do bigger spots, I think. And the other, I mean, I like these brushes, but I don't like the fact that they shed. I mean, really shed. I've got hairs on my pad, all over the paper, all over the background paper. It's just everywhere. I'm not sure why that is, but they seem to shed for me. I've never seen Lindsay pick off a bunch of the hairs off of her surfaces, but for me, I always seem to. Maybe I push too hard on them or something. I don't know. We're going to go with the idea of I just don't know. It's just me. We'll go with that. It's just me. Well, I do have an update on my Fiskars trimmer. For those of you who have been listening to me rant about how I can never seem to get my trimmer to trim the paper without hacking the edges, and so I have a Fiskars 12-inch paper trimmer that has that wire in it. I don't know if any of you are familiar with it. Most of you probably are, because a lot of people have those Fiskars trimmers. Fiskars are really wonderful for customer service, and what they've done so far is twice they've sent me a new wire with the big plastic piece that attaches, see all those hairs, with the big plastic piece that attaches to the trimmer. So you take it all apart and you put in this plastic piece, and theoretically it works again. Well, they said also, let's also change your cutting blade. So I did that, and they said, okay, now that you've done that, we'll send you a new cutting blades, and we'll send you a new they also sent me cutting blades, because I'd done a lot of changing out of my cutting blades for no reason, apparently. And they said, well, we feel bad that you did that. You shouldn't have done that. So they said, here's what we'll do. We'll send you some new ones. So I said, great. They sent me new blades. So I changed out the blades. I changed out the wire piece, and it worked for a little while, and then it happened again. So I changed out the blade, went through the same process again, and then they sent me another one of these wire things. So this is the third time. I've changed blades 5-6 times. I've changed the wire on it twice, and when I called them this time, they said, look, we'll just send you a whole new unit. So maybe my unit was bad, I don't know, but their customer service is phenomenal, and I hope this is going to be it for fixing it. So what I'm going to do with this image is I'm taking a blender pen from Stampin' Up, and if you don't have one of these, they're really cool. You don't have to get it from Stampin' Up. There's a company called Dove that makes blender pens, and theirs are really cool because they not only do they give you the blender pen, but they also give you, it's like a kit. They give you extra blending fluid. You can fill it again. They give you extra nibs. They really make it so you've got not just a short-term pen, you've got a long-term solution. So anyway, if you want to try something like this and you don't go through Stampin' Up, I would really recommend Amazon. I know sells the Dove ones. I'm sure they sell them other places, but I know that Amazon sells them, and it's called a Dove blender pen, and I think it's called a kit. So that's just my advice. If you don't get the Stampin' Up ones, I like the Stampin' Up ones very much. I have several of them, and I make my own refill solution for them, and that's worked really well. And plus, I have the Dove one. Of course, you know me. I have to have the Dove one as well. So I have the Dove piece and or the Dove set, and I use it in a different room. I keep these in here, and then I use the Dove one in a room where I just do a lot of coloring, and I need to have access to my coloring things. That made sense, coloring things. I'm going in and just kind of going around my, I think that some of these are leaves and some of these are buds, and I'm not sure, but I'm going to assume that on these ones that most of them are going to be in the pink family, and just the bottom sections are going to be green. That's what I'm going with. I hope that clarifies what I'm doing. And what I thought I would do is have Rich fast forward through each color, and if I have to say anything other than what the new color is going to be, then I'll have him just stop, and I'll tell you what the color is and then fast forward again. Okay, that was Victorian Velvet, and now I think I'm going to do a little bit of worn lipstick. Or should I do Tattered Rose? Let me try Tattered Rose first, and I'll see if it. You have. Oh, excuse me. You need to use your blender pen on another scratch piece of paper until you get that color off of it. I think I'm just going to change ends instead, because it's going to take me forever to get that color off because I put way too much. I dipped into the ink too much. So this is going to be Tattered Rose that I'm going to be trying next. It's a much lighter, it's very, very pale. Okay, I think now I'm going to try a little bit of marker. This is Rose Romance. It's a Stampin' Up pen, and hopefully it won't be too dark. It's pretty dark. I think I'm going to scribble it onto something and use my blender pen so that I can get it to be not so dark. So I have a piece of acetate here. You probably can't see that, but it's just a little piece of acetate, and I'm just going to pick it up on my blender pen. The blender pen should blend it out a little bit so it's just not so dark. I'm kind of going over a lot of these areas that I did with that light pink. It was almost too light. I just thought I'd put in a little bit more color with this. The blender pen does do a nice job of kind of toning things down so you don't have a really vivid color. Start out with on my leaves. I'm going to use markers, and I'm going to start out with Baked Brown Sugar, which is it's just like a light brown. And when I do leaves, I like to have a little bit of brown in them. If you've ever seen me do leaves, then you know that I just think that there's something about a leaf that you just need a little bit, not a ton of brown, but enough brown that the that it's that it's realistic looking, because I think that around here anyway, our leaves aren't just green, they are a little bit brown. And if you've heard that story 100 times, I apologize. And this is Always Artichoke. It's too dark. I'm going to go to a different one. I'm going to go to Gumball Green, which sounds a little crazy for this. I don't know. Let me think about that. Let me go with this one instead. This one is Mossy Meadow. Let's see if that. It's still pretty dark. What to do? That's where I keep my my Distress Inks. Let's try them instead. We'll do the same thing that I did with the other one, which is probably what I should have done to begin with. Is just, gone through and done the color much lighter. Better look. Should have done this to begin with. Note to self. moss, if I didn't say that already. Let me see if there's any way I could blot that up. I'm thinking about trying this is like my last attempt to fix this leaf. Thinking about just trying to, well, that did work, blot a little bit of the color off with a baby wipe. Look how that works. Look at that. It's genius, baby wipe, people. You're awesome, whoever created a baby wipe. Oh, see? I'm going to do it in that one little pink area too. Maybe the pink is too dried, but it definitely fixed the green. It made me very, very happy because that green was going to make me scrap the project. Oops, I got a little green down there. How I did that, I don't know. And a little green up there. I got a little green everywhere. Maybe I have it on my hands. I don't know. Alright. So, I think the front of our card is not too shabby. Let's not, uh-oh. Well, I got a little wet spot there that we're going to have to let dry because it's starting to peel. What do you call that? I don't know. I already took some fun foam and cut it so it should be the right, what do you call it? Dimensions. Jeez. Oh, brother. I think I need a break. Okay. And normally my pokey tool just pulls this right off, but right now it doesn't want to. Okay. Snail, which is just an adhesive, tape adhesive. Any tape adhesive works, or an ATG gun, or you can also use wet adhesive. Totally up to you. I prefer the little tape adhesives. I did a video on tape runners. I'll link that to this one because it's it kind of tells you why I use what I use. And I am going to be doing one on liquid adhesives as well. But I haven't finished my research. There's a lot of liquid adhesives out there. Trust me when I tell you that. Okay. There is the outside, and I had another sentiment I want to put in the inside. Sentiment on the front, it says, wishing you comfort in your time of sorrow. It's from My Creative Times, and it's from Floral Sayings. I wanted to make sure I told you that. And then I do have a sentiment for inside that says something. Oh, there it is. It says, may you find strength in the love of family and in the warm embrace of friends. I thought that was really a nice thing to put in there. That comes from PTI Heartfelt Basics. And I'm going to put that in the Misty. That way I can be sure that the image is stamped as dark as I like it to be stamped. Oops. I'm thinking I might put a little bit of either stickles, probably stickles, on the floral image on the outside. Because I think it would make it a little bit, I don't know, make it look better. Hold on, I gotta stick my head in the picture. looks good. I use VersaFine black Onyx Black for that. And I normally would have used the one that's in the Distress Ink, but I didn't want to have to reach across again and have you go, geez, she just keeps reaching across in front of us. So now I just need to get an envelope and put a little bit of washi tape on it and we'll be all set. I decided instead of putting a little bit of washi tape on this envelope, I found one that already has this pink lining in it, and I thought that was, that was decoration enough. So I think I'm going to go with that instead, and I think our card is pretty much done. Okay, I decided I was going to put a little bit of stickles on the card, as I promised. That stickles with cotton candy, and I'm going to let this dry. At the end I'll make sure that I put in a photograph of what it looks like once it's dry. I really appreciate you bearing with me through this tutorial, and I hope that if you are in a similar situation that you'll find comfort and strength in your friends and family, and I so much appreciate you watching. Thanks again. Bye-bye.